Hello, everyone. Welcome, everyone, again to our Android night. For those of you who have joined us for the past two Android nights, welcome again. So this is our third and final event for the Android night series. So I hope you can also learn something new and have fun together today. So we often have friends around the region joining us. So please feel free to say hello to everyone. So if you have any questions or comments during the event, feel free to use the live chat section. So say hello to everyone, be polite, be nice to everyone. And before we begin, I'll just pass on to Jiaxing to talk about DevSpace SG.
Thanks, Desmond. Thanks everyone for joining us tonight on a Thursday evening. I'm Jiaxing from the Google Developers Relations team, and welcome to our virtual developer space. We hope you are keeping safe and well wherever you are. And before we begin today's session, let me briefly introduce what Google Developer Space is about. So we are a platform for developers and startups to connect together and learn from one another. So we have a physical space in the Singapore office, but I think as all of you know, due to the pandemic, we moved everything online, and that's how we started our YouTube channel actually. So do remember to subscribe and support us as well. And so we regularly host events with startup and developer communities. So do keep updated with us through all our different social channels. So you can follow us on our website, and we are on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube as well. And as Desmond mentioned, today is the third Android Night series. So thank you for joining us for the past 2 weeks as well. And today we have two awesome speakers, Sumya and Kira. Without further ado, I'll hand it over to Desmond to share more about today's session.
All right, thank you, Jiaxing. Before I start, I also like to introduce to you a special guest tonight we have here. So she's Kotlin. She'll be joining us as a community organizer for the WTM. So Kotlin, hello, welcome.
All right. Hi everyone. Good evening. So my name's Kathleen and I'm a technical project manager at Shopee. So if you're an active member of GDG, you'll be seeing me more often starting today as I'll be working with Desmond to bring you guys such cool events for GDG this year. And not only that, we will also kick off programs for women tech makers. So Desmond and I will be providing a platform for women to network and learn from each other through our monthly events, in which we really hope to empower and inspire women to thrive in the tech workforce, maybe in the field of design, engineering, or leadership. So yeah, I mean, we're very excited to journey with everyone here in the GDG community, and we hope to see you guys in our upcoming events for the rest of 2021. Right, have fun tonight. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Kathleen. We certainly hope that we'll be able to look forward to more exciting events in the future. So once again, thank you to all the communities who have helped to share this event. So it is always nice to be building communities together. And if you like to work together, please do reach out to us. And also, we are always on the lookout for speakers. So if you have anything exciting, interesting to share, or you want to talk about your side projects, anything new that you have learned, please do reach out to us. Use the link at the bottom, and we'll get back to you, and we'll see how we can arrange a platform for you to share whatever interesting, exciting stuff that you're working on with like-minded people. And also, if you'd like to please also follow us on our social media, Facebook, Meetup, and YouTube. So we have a lot of content that we hosted in the past that are still very useful and relevant in your developer journey. So please do check them out. And especially if you missed the previous two sessions of Android Night, you'll be able to see all our content on our YouTube channel. So please subscribe, and you'll be able to be notified of any latest events also. So let's get started with today's event. So today Android Night session will be on Kotlin, and here we have today is two amazing ladies, Sumyat and Kermanzi. So they'll be talking about Kotlin and how we are able to use Kotlin in our development of our Android apps. So we'll start off with Sumyat. Sumyat is a GDE for Android and Android engineer at Lomotive. So please welcome Sumyat.
Hey, hello. Today I'm going to talk about improve Android app development with Kotlin. Hello again, my name is Sumiet. So currently I'm working at Limited Company as a senior software engineer in the company based in Singapore. In case you don't know Lomotive, so we do social video remixing app with over 150 million downloads and consistent appears in the top charts of the App Store's photo and video category in Brazil and the US respectively. So our app is popular in Brazil, Portugal, and Russia. So mostly I've been working on migrating to latest technologies in the application architecture, some of the features like music player and video editing, and currently teaching myself MAD, Modern Android Development. Okay. Android has officially support Kotlin since 2017, and there is a good reason Kotlin. For those who have not looked at Kotlin before, I will be a brief overview for Kotlin development. So first of all language takes care a lot of boilerplate code, allowing the developer to spare more time focusing on the business at hand. In the safer code. And Kotlin is a strong type system, so which helps to prevent runtime issues like null pointer exceptions, and then the string format issues. And then it's help you 20% less likely to crashes. For us as an Android developer, have been writing our apps using Java programming language for many years, and there is a well of existing library readings in Java. So it will be hard to get started with Kotlin without seamless interoperability with the programming language. So for those things, no worries. Kotlin is 100% supports interoperable with Java programming language, so which means allowing for a progressive adoption of Kotlin into Java existing projects. Structure concurrency. And if you are still not convinced that Kotlin is a great fit on Android, so coroutines provide an elegant way to do this synchronous programming. Kotlin saves us from a lot of callback health. Meanwhile, Kotlin solves one of the most difficult problems developers usually face when we writing Android apps. In over 16% of the professional Android developers are using Kotlin for their code base. And more than 18% of top 1K apps on the Google Play Store also using Kotlin code. Okay, here is a question. Google continues to support Kotlin for an Android development. So Google formed a foundation for Kotlin to ensure the languages work together with JetBrains. And Google has a team of engineers contributing to Kotlin compiler as their full-time job. So Google currently focusing on helping to get the new IR backend and front-end compilers also. They've been working on building Kotlin-related tooling, such as Kotlin KSP, Kotlin symbol processing. You will learn more about the Kotlin KSP in the talk later. Google have been improving the way teaching Kotlin on Android, and created and update the documents, and ensuring that the symbols are in Kotlin as well as create a couple of code lab to help you to learn Kotlin. And there are articles and lots of articles and videos are targeting all levels of developer experience and familiarity with the Kotlin, to be more familiar with the Kotlin. So this is an overview of Kotlin supports in Android. So for the library side, Kotlin first libraries, which means such as paging tree, paging, and Jetpack Compose. The paging libraries helps you load and display the pages of data from a larger data set, which is from local storage or over through the network. The Jetpack Compo is Android model toolkit for building native UI, which simplifies the accelerate UI development on Android. In Kotlin KTX, the KTX extensions provide concise idiomatic Kotlin to Jetpack Android platform than other APIs. For example, the extension functions, lambdas, name parameters, Kotlin, coroutine. So, and then the new extension function in 2020 would be PlayCore and Google Map. So these make using your existing APIs more Kotlin idiomatic way. And more nullable annotation to make sure your calls to those API safer. At the same time, developers' productivity always comes from the great tooling such as Kotlin Live templates, which allows you to use the shorthand common Android constructs to your Kotlin app. And then Kotlin specific links checks can help you make Kotlin code more language idiomatic. This is especially useful as you transitioning from like Java programming language from Java to Kotlin. Looking at the compiler tool chain, R8 or Shrinker tool contains new Kotlin specific optimizations. For example, eliminating index checks when it can prove that the whole app doesn't need them. And Kotlin metadata rewriting that allows the compiler to recognize, and which means extension function and suspend function which don't exist natively in Java virtual machine. The materials to help you learn Kotlin are expanding. There are Kotlin vocabulary as a YouTube series that explains specific Kotlin keywords in each one of video, and then better to check it out. Looking at the documentation on Kotlin page, developer.android.com/Kotlin, you can see all of the latest code labs and guidance for getting started with Kotlin. Kotlin everywhere, the program ran together, Google ran together with JetBrains, and then the other Kotlin enthusiasts and reach over 13K developers. And okay, Kotlin code look like. Kotlin is a modern programming language, and it has many features that aid productivity. Here, the Kotlin supports nullability in the type system to help you avoid null pointer exception at runtime. And then the shorter syntax through the lambdas make code more concise and readable. And then the semicolons in Kotlin, semicolons are optional. And you can use a string template. Expressions in string to avoid concatenation. So in this example, the call is made as part of a template expression, which is combining char alternative to string format with an elegant sentence. The last highlights of this example shows using property to provide a level or abstractions over getter setters. The language helps developer more productive and make them happier. So Google is expanding its own use of Kotlin, both on their Android apps as well as on the server. So Google is working closely with JetBrains to make sure the language and tools even more better and better. Since Kotlin 1.4 brings many enhancements. Coroutine is a recommended way of doing asynchronous programming on Android for Kotlin developers. It provides a stretcher, easy way, and less error-prone way to do many synchronous, asynchronous tasks that Android developers need to code all the time. For those new to Kotlin, the Google continuously expanding documentation, the code and video help you to get started easily. Kotlin tooling performance. So these new features help you help with the productivity for sure. The biggest things that will help your productivity is tooling performance. Let's check it out more. In Kotlin, Gradle plugin to make sure annotation process are more incremental, as well as helping annotation processor order make their annotation processor ready for incremented runs. And then the IDE performance. Google and JetBrains teams have been organizing, combining the performance hackathons for like more numerous improvement in Kotlin. Can see for like lots of improvements in Kotlin started 1.3.60 and above for the performance issues. On the Gradle side, Google working with the Gradle inks to make the dramatic changes to its model for incremental compilation and project and instant execution. So the combined with additional caching for faster up-to-date checks, and now we can see the 30% of improvement in controlling experiment. KSP. Many Kotlin builds are significantly slowed down by annotation processor. So, and we can avoid after Kotlin version 1.3.0. And many developers like us iterate on and deploy app dozens of times a day. having to sit around waiting for a slow beat can be every time consuming. One of the biggest challenges with compiling Kotlin code is that Kotlin doesn't have a native annotation processing systems. So the reason why Google announced Kotlin symbol processing on the February 10th of February 21. This new tool will help you lightweight compiler plugins in Kotlin. So it's up to like 2 times faster. So you need to it's compiled with the Kotlin version 1.4.3. So March 5th, they announced Kotlin 1.5.0. So you can check it out for new features. So this is our Kotlin 1.4 overview. Kotlin 1.4 available through the early access preview program and brings many improvements. For the compiler side, include language additionals, type inference improvement, and generator annotation in bytecode of Java 8+ target. For the library side, they bring common reflection API program configuration for Kotlin reflection and new contracts. From an early point, the Kotlin has supports single abstract method conversation for interface defined in the Java programming language. So the Kotlin supports higher order function natively. And in here, it does not support for this Kotlin interface. The notion of fan interface, the instance of like fan interface can be created using lambda syntax, and then that feature will make exposing Kotlin APIs and Java consumer even easier. I want to showcase in like small addition to the language that this one also powerful. The parameter list not allowed to have a training comma for the last element, and 1.4 remove this restriction by allowing the training comma. The code look more symmetric and it will cause fewer distractions in code review, and adding new entires will no longer highlight multiple change lines. This new feature help with the productivity for sure. And Google deprecated the asyntax classes started at Android 11. It's been an API with fair share problem to begin with, so what should we use? Instance. Well, developers has tuned to various custom solutions, including thread, higher level libraries such as like RJava. And with Kotlin, there is one more container. So this is coroutine. Coroutines are the Kotlin way for doing asynchronous programming with the full support in the language in the library version since 1.3. Here you will see a small example using the coroutine to perform an asynchronous call to receive server-side data. And then followed by asynchronous code to store the data in the local database. And followed by a UI update. The coroutine code is executed in a scope. In Android, we have libraries to tie the lifetime of these calls into the Android lifecycles. Dispatchers.io. These features allow you to schedule execution from network and database access on the I/O background thread. async network calls can be made through library like retrofit that suppose coroutines out of the box. And in here, I'm using run coroutine supposed to store the data on the device without blocking the UI thread. Firstly, I pass a value into the view model copy display in the UI. With all these asynchronous steps, the IDE clues you on an asynchronous behavior with the icon on the left side into your code. So nowadays, the Google officially recommending coding as the standard way to use synchronous programming in Kotlin. So if you haven't used it yet, and you are struggling with any text in other reason to take the closer to look at Kotlin. So, in why Kotlin? You might wonder why so many developers choose to pick coroutines as their synchronous solution, and why the Google recommend on the official document. Coroutines are particularly good fit for mobile applications running on Android. And structured concurrency helps developers scope that work through the application lifecycle and prevent minor leaks. And callback-free code is easier to read and less error-prone. While building support for cancellation and natural exception handling help ensure the error classes is treated gracefully. Many of APIs already support using coroutines. To enter the world of coroutines, Google created special made coroutine scope that allow you to run asynchronous inside your models and writing this scope. You can make you can use coroutine support in various Java libraries. For example, the Android ROM library, which provides structured database access. You can easily access database without blocking the main thread through coroutines. And for the longer running tests, are more often modeled through job inside called Work Manager. With the coroutine worker, you can easily model job cancellation. And some of the new library, it's a Paging 3.0. And then the JPEG new Compose API is heavily relying on the coroutine. So what does this recommendation mean for Java user and people who have been adopt other higher level asynchronous programming library? The great thing about the coroutine library is that it's make the entire possible to write interest support for both libraries. For example, Paging will ship with the RA and then the listenable future compatible APIs. Conversely, for libraries that have not yet adopted coroutines, you can use many third-party adapters, such as when the converter text-based API from Google Play service to coroutine suspend calls. So here is some of the resources from you can check it out on the developer.android.kotlin page. So yeah. Any question?
Thank you, Sumiat. seems that we don't have a question, but we have a comment here. I use RX. Well, what do you think of RX Javas with versus coroutines? Like,
Of course, I also use RA Java before. Exactly in 2018, after the Google started introduce Kotlin coding, then I started study. So Kotlin coding is a bit more easier for us developer. It's more readable, and especially Kotlin flow. So it's like more readable, more easyable. You in RA Java you have to design it's a observable or flow level or something like that. So you maybe have like you may need to stick that for the learning curve. So it's like what's the flow level, how like the observable works, something like that. In coding, you don't need to know. In flow, you just say image whatever you want, something like
right.
that. So yeah. So I personally the Kotlin coding is like the compared to their performance, it's also same. So yeah.
Yeah, but I think the only drawback is that we can only use coroutines in Kotlin code. Is that right? So
Coroutine,
if
right?
we have like Java code, we cannot use coroutines, right?
Of course, coding is like Kotlin supports library, so you cannot use in Java project. But nowadays, all of the projects are going to the multi-platform. So you maybe choose the Kotlin language lah. For those case, you cannot use R Java. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, we have one question here. What do you like about the new Kotlin release?
Oh, I just check it out. It was released on the May. It was yesterday. So it's like I saw the loss of like I just read through and saw the loss of performance, and then the bit time speed up. Yeah. So for those things, you better do like read it on more the like document. I also haven't explored it yet.
Yeah, it's so new, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta make a note to read up. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Looks like we don't have any more questions. So thank you, Sumyat.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you later. All right. Up next, we'll have Krimiza from. She's an Android engineer as well, and today she'll be talking about how we can interrupt Java and Kotlin together, and the little gotchas that we should take note of when we are mixing the two languages. So welcome. Hello.
Hello,
All right,
Desmond.
please
Thank
take it
you.
away.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you for finding time and joining this session. So today I would like to talk about Kotlin and Java interoperability. So now, I feel like in the first impression, maybe everyone thinks like, what can be we can learn something new more about like in this interoperabilities features and what can be new, right? So I thought so too, but before I got a very huge application, and right now all this new modern architecture, which is modular architecture, where like you can work on separate models, where you can have different features in different models and they work independently when you are teammates, right? And if we imagine that you have a very huge application which was written in Java, but now the business solution or business requirements like don't rewrite everything what was written in Java, but continue to work on Kotlin, so adding up on top of the Java code, Kotlin code, and keep continuing on it, right? There is no problem because you can follow this modular architecture and whatsoever. But because Kotlin was started to implement after Java, we have a lot of tools like converting Java to Kotlin. So it means like if we are writing something in Kotlin, And because it's newer language, and the Kotlin was developed to be interoperable with Java. It has a lot of like cool functions. Like for example, in Android Studio, we have this converting Java to Kotlin with one click or something like that. But because maybe some new features or new things that you have implemented in Kotlin, you need to connect it from Java side. For example, like in modular application, well, you follow this modular architecture. So you have written something new, cool, or something base in Kotlin, but your feature which was written in Java doesn't have it. So how are you going to access that? So that was for me the challenging parts and interesting parts that I've learned connecting Java Kotlin code from Java, right? So here, what can help you? It's first of all, there are very useful annotations. So first of all, we can talk about Java JVM name architecture, annotation, sorry. And here I can show that our usual function, get my example, and which is returning the string, right? And in Java, we supposed to have the same understanding when we're calling it, right? When we compiler understand that. But if we are going to use a Java JVM annotation, we can sometimes rename this kind of functions names. Why do we need that? First of all, you might have in your local model, in Java model, the same feature or same class or exactly the same name, kind of name, methods and functions. So to differentiate that, you can use this annotation to rename the file name, rename the field name, function name, class name, and whatsoever. If in Kotlin, we can define the collections like that, items and items, and we can see that there are two different items because the types are different. And in Java, it can be a problem because usually in Java, we don't know what kind of collection inside, like it's strings or ints. So to make sure that when we are calling these variables from Java, we can rename that differently. So the compiler, when we are calling them, there won't be any kind of confusions what to use and what to call. And then another thing we can talk about when we are calling Java JVM name annotation in our fields like country. For example, when we define variable in Kotlin, we don't need to write this boilerplate code like getters and setters. But sometimes we need to understand that by requirements, we want to rename our getter and the setter name. For example, in Java, because maybe you have in your in Java, maybe you have get country and set country kind of method. But in Kotlin, you're calling country variable, and automatically it's going to be get country and set country. So you can differentiate as these methods as well, and then name that in Kotlin file. And another thing is cool about Kotlin feature, which is overloading. So sometimes we can define the function, and the parameters can be default. For example, like we can have a lot of default values, and it can be like null, false. And here we can say like, if we're sending country, we can, the default name of country is Singapore and city is Singapore. And if you want to override it, you can just send the country or city. But Java doesn't understand that. This is new cool feature of Kotlin. So how are we going to handle that if we are going to call this kind of method from Java class? And usually this JVM overloads annotation helps. So And sometimes we are like, not sometimes, like we can use this JVM overloads not only in functions as in constructors as well, because in Java, if we are going to have several constructors, we need to rewrite like a name in constructor, and in the second constructor we are going to have name and last name or age and whatsoever. But in Kotlin we can write everything in one line and define some default values or make it nullable. So let's talk about exceptions. And when we are writing exceptions in Kotlin, it's very easy. We just define the functions and throw the exceptions if it happens. But in Java, we can't do that. We need to define the exceptions when we are defining the method, when we are giving a name for the method, right? So that's why to make it easier to Java understand the Kotlin code, we need to use thorough annotation. Then when we are compiling it and calling this method from Java class, we immediately, and Java class immediately understands this method is going to throw any exception. So, and it can be different kind of exception. For example, here's IO exception, and read exception, and any other exceptions that you can define that. And what is the cool thing here in Kotlin, I really loved it. It was companion object, which is like when we are using static variables, static classes in Java. It was a little bit different how we used in Kotlin, right? So to differentiate and understand how we are going to use these static classes in Java, how we need to define that in our Kotlin class. So we have these two annotations, which is JVM fields and JVM statics. For example, in Kotlin, we have companion object, and we have static get country by area functions, and as a constant, I have like Kazakhstan. But by code, we can understand that this is a static class maybe. But after compilation, without any kind of annotation, we can see that it's not getting that as a static class. It's calling the example class and calling the companion object, which is a wrapper in Kotlin, and calling the get country by area and functions, and using get set methods, calling the variable. So what will change if we are using these annotations? So when we use these annotations, it immediately understands that get country by area functions and Kazakhstan as a variable are static variables and static functions. And another very cool feature everyone loves in Kotlin, it's nullability, but we don't have that in Java. So how we can make sure that Java understands it correctly? It's by using nullable annotations. So for example, if we have this nullable function and calling it from Java without any kind of annotation, we can get an error. But if we are using nullable, it will not give any error. So we can just directly check if it's null or not null and do with this variable what we want to do or parameter. So in Kotlin, we have different type of keywords. So if we can't use as a variable names in Java or in Kotlin any hard keywords. So in Java, we can't, when we understand that we are working with Java and Kotlin together, in Java, we can't have all these keywords, hard keywords, as a parameter name or function name and whatsoever. But as a soft keywords, modifier keywords, maybe we can have them. But as a engineer, I would recommend don't use them as well. There are so many words and like symbols that we can use that. And this is my Twitter, and I think this is what I have for you today to share. Hopefully it was useful, and thank you for being with me.
Thank you, Kremeza. I thank you for this nice short little session. So we have some questions right here. I think
Yeah, sure.
I think they're quite interesting. So for SDK developers, is there any suggestions on how to flag down documentation gaps during code reviews to nudge engineers to update function documentations?
Oh. I know that when we are migrating the code between like we usually use migration annotation, so everyone understands this is migrated. But for documentations, I do believe like I have used only like Java doc annotations that can be automated to document that. But for Kotlin, it's a good question. I'll be looking into that. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, there's another question as well. So how does Java interpret Silk classes and interfaces in Kotlin?
Mm. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Well, mostly, I do believe with interfaces, there is no problem that we need to like. We can just it's going to be interpreted and interface. But with Silk class, I think there should be special annotations that we can make sure that it's going to use it properly. So maybe it's a good topic for next sessions that I can look at and prepare for you.
I'm just going to make a guess here that for Silk class, it actually gets compiled down to abstract classes with private constructors and the different child classes is the implementation of the abstract class. But I think that's just a guess here as to how I would think the Kotlin will compile this code down to the Java bytecode. But I think it should be interesting to look further. So we have another question. So for code bases with Java and Kotlin code, which documentation framework do we use?
I've never used Docker previously. We were using only Java doc. So as like Julie asked previously, I think this is a good topic that we can look deeper and research deeper. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, usually I just write my comments in just like the double slash or the usual Java doc style. No?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Company hiring.
Yeah, we are hiring. We are hiring a lot. Please. It doesn't matter which location you are in now, right now. Please feel free to reach me out, and we are hiring.
Okay. Everyone is hiring everywhere. Do you know how to use the JVM inline?
Can you show? I think that the Silk class interfaces and this JVM inline is a good topic for my next session, maybe after a few weeks. Thank you for question, Manish.
Okay, cool. So I guess we've come to this the end of this tonight's very short session. So thank you again, Kameza. So we'll be having a very short quiz as well today. So I hope everyone has been listening and looking forward to this quiz section. So hold on while I prepare the quiz. All right. So just go to kahoot.it and key in the pin here, and you'll be able to join us for this quiz section. So hopefully everyone is already using Kotlin, since it has been introduced for quite some time already. And if not, you should really, we should already start using Kotlin in our app development. Right, we've got 9 players now. All right, I'll just start the quiz. For the rest of you who have not joined the Kahoot, you can join anytime after we start as well. So not to worry. So let's begin. So it'll just be a very short quiz for tonight. Let's hope we have fun. Oh. Huh. Static for what? Interesting. Ooh. 333. Next question. Is it one way or the other? Right, it seems like most of you got it right. Both can interop. So what's the answer? Ooh, close. What do you think? Oh, that's fast. Right. Question is a bit long. Nice. All right. Last question. In the same package, not the same project, not the same module. All right, most of you got it right. And congratulations to the winner today. Yay. So for the winners, you can email GDG GDG, Singapore GDG at gmail.com together with your name, your country, and your mobile number. So we'll be able to email you your voucher codes for today's for your prizes. So please remember to take a screenshot of this and email us. All right. Okay, we have come to the end of our session tonight. So thank you all for staying. So as always, we are always looking on the lookout for more speakers. So if you have anything interesting that you want to share, you want to contribute back to the community that we all have gained so much from, please feel free to reach out to us, and we would like to have you do your sharing and use the link at the bottom below to reach out to us. And we'll see how we can arrange something for you to have a platform for you to do your sharing. So once again, this is a shout out to Big O Development. Big O Development is a series of events focusing on tech leadership, career advancement, and related topics. So you will not want to miss this. This is on engineering, productivity, metrics, and morale, and it'll be hosted on June 9th of June. So please check them out. You can also check out their website, Big O Development. So that's it for tonight. We hope you have fun, learn something new, and enjoy yourself. We'll see you again very soon. Thank you so much.